welcome. You're watching Market Meter on Money9. I'm Sakshi Batra. This is a show where we recap for you the entire market action in the first half and also share with you views of experts, fundamental views, where you can understand which way is the market headed and which are the stocks and sectors that you need to keep an eye out on today. Joining us on this special show is Mr. Rahul Shah from Motilal Oswal. Thank you very much, sir, and good afternoon for joining us. I first want to begin by understanding from you your market outlook. Currently, we have been seeing 2 consecutive days of consolidation, some first signs of a relaxed or a pause in the markets right after the first 6-7 days of a run. How are you approaching these markets?
Hi, good afternoon. I think we are at a very good run-up post-budget. I think a lot of volatility pre-budget and post-budget, and we had a fantastic run-up in Nifty with 9% up in just 4 sessions. So I feel that way the markets are set up and post-budgets, I think the things looks quite interesting. Till the time economic recovery things which is visible, plus the corporate earnings, what we are seeing in this Q3 numbers has been quite promising. I think there's been no disappointment in most of the Nifty stocks that come out now. I think in terms of earnings, there have been more upgrades than the downgrades which are there. So I personally, there could be some more run-up. There could be a Nifty might take a breather at a little bit higher levels, but I think there could be a stock-specific approach. And looks like that there could be some more steam left. So we've seen that sector rotation in the stocks wise as well as the sector wise. We saw that technology in front seat in first week of Jan, and then moving towards now the cyclical stocks which were in the good mode since last 3 months. So I feel that cyclical stocks should continue to do well going forward from here also. So and followed by I think tech stocks and other materials and etc. Post that.
Right. What's your view on the banking space right now, Nifty Bank and the private banking space? It has run up already quite sharply and, it has participated the most in the post-budget rally that we have seen in the past 1 week. But there are some signs of consolidation we are seeing here. Does this space interest you at the moment, or would you prefer being with the private sector banks, or would you still prefer, PSU banking space, considering the SBI results have been a big leg up for all the entire sectoral stocks?
I think, let's be clear that there could be, as when we see an economic revival, we see the lending growth for the wholesale bankers to benefit more than the retail bankers. So the pace of growth in a wholesale bankers would be much more higher than retail bankers. So my sense is, I think if you look at the corporate banks, we could see one simple that NPAs asset quality is recovery is on the path. Thirdly, most important thing, all of them I think are trading at at a very attractive valuation. And going forward also, I think Q4 and post that also in next 1 year looks like that. I think all these corporate banks will keep on performing better. So I think the valuations are justified vis-a-vis the other private sector banks and. As I said, that NPA cycle, which looks like to be peaked out, asset quality and reasonable valuation, and most of them have the good subsidiary valuation as well embedded in the book. So my sense, I think corporate banks, my top preference would be SBI, followed by ICICI and Axis.
Okay, so SBI, ICICI and Axis key banking stocks that one must really look at as per Rahul's recommendation. Rahul, what about the auto sector and the realty sector? The auto sector, of course, got a whole lot of announcements in the budget, and following that, we did see a huge run up in the large caps as well as the mid caps. The realty stocks, especially DLF, has been running quite high in the last few sessions as well. Do you see any merit by looking at these kind of sectors and stocks?
I think one thing is very clear. We saw fantastic monthly numbers since last 5 consecutive months, irrespective of festive season or not. We've seen the numbers intact. So my sense is, I think auto stocks will continue to grow. People personal utility in terms of is going to get increased, and that's the numbers which are going to come back. So I think we've already seen in two-wheeler space as well as in the passenger vehicle space as well. So I think they will continue to roar going forward as well. And as we are coming out of the pre-COVID to post-COVID now. I think that's also one of the factor where people feel that personal hygiene and personal safety is the priority in this kind of setup in overall in the nation. So I think that's why we are seeing the spend on the two-wheelers coming back, and this will continue to roll back. So I think autos will continue to do well as from here as well.
Okay, and the metal space has been shining quite bright from last two trading sessions, and of course, they are getting the support from the Q3 earnings as well. When you talk about stocks like JSPL or Tata Steel, do you have any preferred pick from this space?
I think entire metal space in last 6 months, we've seen the metal prices of steel going higher and higher. So it's up above 50,000 per ton in HRC. So my sense is, I think if we look at the numbers, JSW Steel, Jindal Steel and Power, SAIL, and Tata Steel, which reported their number yesterday, all of them were one thing was clear visible that numbers are going to be good.
Yeah.
The guidance have been quite good from all four companies. So looks like that. And interestingly, when the global stimulus and global recovery happens, I think the first thing is I think steel prices are remain firm, and that's the reason we are seeing in the steel stocks as well.
Yeah.
So I feel that all your steel stocks will continue to do well. Obviously, my preference would be Steel Authority, which is underperformed vis-a-vis your all your other stocks in terms of the entire basket. So I think in terms of valuation, it looks very attractive. Post their results, they've also discussed on that they are going to cut debt in the results. So I think sale could be one of the preferred bet in the entire metal space to catch up the in terms of way the Tata Steel and JSW have run up. So my sense is with 5 times earnings
Okay, so
with
what kind of
less than
targets
half
are you
time book.
seeing on Steel Authority?
I think the 90 rupees is what I'm looking from the current price of 68. I think 90 rupees could be the target price for the sale from those
Okay.
levels.
And what about from the banking space? You took three, four names that you really like. What about State Bank of India? Do you have any targets to share with us on that?
I think, as I discussed, I think State Bank of India. I feel that including their core business plus their subsidiary valuation, I feel that 475 could be the fair value for State Bank. So there could be 20% upside from here as well in State Bank.
Okay, so already we've seen about an 11 to 15% spike, but there's further steam on State Bank of India. 475 is the level that Rahul really sees it going in the long term. Another stock pick that you would pick for our investors and viewers?
I think another stock, as you were just about, was the real estate space. So I think the real estate has been in flavor since last 6 months, and predominantly in last 4 months, we've seen the registration levels across the countries going higher and higher. So in that space, I think indirect way to play that real estate theme is to going for a financer. So I think housing finance company. So I think Piramal Enterprise, which is predominantly into the real estate financing business, with as well as loan against property as well as housing finance. And plus, the company has got their pharma business. So I think you're again getting Piramal Enterprise at one-time book, which is quite cheap. And plus, that after that, Divan Housing coming into that books. So I think which will add more value to their own core businesses. So I feel one should buy Piramal Enterprise with a target of 2050 from current levels.
Okay, current levels from the real estate space, Piramal Enterprises top pick, and 2050 would be the target price that you can really look at. Strong upside from the current levels as well. From the banking major, State Bank of India, and from the steel space, Steel Authority of India, still on the radar of Rahul. Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, for joining us on this special show and
My
sharing your
pleasure.
views with us on market as well as sharing these stock recommendations with us as well. Moving on, let's talk about how the markets are really trading at this point in time. Remember, we've been seeing a whole lot of choppy session right from the early trade that we had witnessed. When you talk about the big indices, the benchmark indices, the Sensex and the Nifty, remember they had also slipped into the red and they were trading marginally in the red for some time, and right now currently they are trading absolutely flat. When you look at the Sensex at the moment, it is trading flat with a negative bias. 51,236 is the level of the Sensex right now, flat with a negative bias completely. Nifty 50 also trading at 15,100 levels. There's just a 9-point kind of a decline, so absolutely flat with of course some bit of choppiness coming in. Nifty Bank is actually underperforming the benchmarks at the moment, about a 0.5% loss for that index, 35,910. So we've given up the 36,000 level mark today. Also, when you talk about the broader markets, that is actually outperforming the benchmark indices. The mid-cap index is performing slightly higher at 0.5% uptick with 114 points gain. Also with small-cap index trading at 19,405, that's up about 0.34%, 66-point gain for that index as well. Quickly jump on to seeing which sectors are performing at this point in time, which are the buzzing sectors right now. If you really see, a whole lot of sectors are also trading in the red. Remember that this is a market that is right now trying to figure out which side it should take, and it's kind of taking a breather, taking a pause. And some of the sectors which you are seeing a bit of decline and profit taking would include FMCG, pharma index, also PSU banking index, and private sector bank index also in the red. So there is a high volatility in the banking space, particularly. Also see that it is the penultimate day of the weekly expiry of Nifty Bank as well. So whole lot of choppiness in this space particularly. But what's actually keeping the markets buoyant at this point in time, or at least not giving up too much of gains, would include the auto index, the financial services index, and also the media and IT stocks as well that are bucking up the trend right now. The metal index is also performing at 0.5% gains, with realty really topping the charts as far as the sectoral gainers are concerned. Nifty Realty up 1.5% in trade right now. Remember, Rahul Shah has also picked out his favorite stock from the entire realty pack, and that's Piramal Enterprises for you. So okay, then let's wrap up this show right now, but a whole lot of action coming in after this as well. So stay tuned on Money9.